Hi everyone! In this video we're going to take a look at Physicians Formula's upcoming Rosé collection. They've released a new eyeshadow palette as well as a new highlighting product that also contains a balm. There's some things that have already kind of been released in this line, for example a set of rose highlighters that I've also included in this video. But the two main new products in the line are the Set and Glow product and the eyeshadow palette. So we're gonna have those as well as the highlighters to show you and swatch in this video. So if you wanna see what the colors really look like on the skin and a first impressions of how the formulas perform, then keep watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button. Follow Allura Beauty on Instagram. And if you haven't seen the latest video, I'm gonna link that in the upper right-hand corner for you to make sure you go and watch if you haven't seen it already. All right, let's get looking at Physicians Formula's Rosé collection. So this is currently available only through Physicians Formula's own website. I'll put a link in the description box below to where you can find it to purchase, as well as of course a link to Ebates so that if you do online shopping, you can automatically get cash back in your pocket from your purchases. This collection should be releasing more widely in a couple of weeks at your local drugstore or anywhere that Physicians Formula is sold. So that should include places like Ulta and I think Target. So obviously this collection is rose themed. That carries over not only to the packaging and the design of the products, but also, as is true and very typical of Physicians Formula, the very strong fragrance that has been added to everything in this line. That's the main reason why I do not purchase or use or review the skincare products by Physicians Formula, because they are just so filled with fragrance and fragrant oils that are bad for your skin. For makeup, I still prefer that that fragrance is not there, but at the very least, the makeup products are sitting more on top of the skin, hopefully over a layer of sunscreen, which you should be wearing, and moisturizer, and perhaps primer if you use primer. So I'm going to start with the 4 Rosé All Day Petal Glow highlighters, because these are not as new as the other products that have released in this line. These have been available for a little while, I think maybe a month or so. They retail on Physicians Formula's website for $15.99. Of course, all these prices that I'm going to list for you change a little bit depending on the actual retailer that you purchase them from. And as you can see, unfortunately, my package from Physicians Formula came with 0 bubble wrap. There was just some paper that was in the box, and I'm surprised that only out of everything that I purchased, only one of the highlighters was completely shattered, so that's that 4th one there that you see, but there are 4 of these rose highlighters in the line. The description of the product says it's a brightening and illuminating all-over glow that imparts unprecedented color dimension for a flawless, pearl-luminous finish. It also claims to brighten the skin instantly and over time while keeping your skin flawlessly glowing. It also claims a unique multi-use formula, reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles while delivering a more radiant complexion. Those I give 0 credence to. There's going to be nothing in this powder formula, especially when it sits on top of the face and in such small quantity, that will at all be effective in reducing fine lines or brightening the skin over time. So here's what the compact looks like. It has a clear lid, so that's nice to let you see the actual product and color inside. They snap open and lift out like this, and then the pan also lifts to reveal a brush underneath and a mirror inside. So while the packaging is bulky, you do get very useful things inside this one compact. And as you can see, each pan has the embossed rose on it. This shade here is Soft Petal. The shade that came shattered that I had to press into the pan is Freshly Picked. Next is Petal Pink. And last is Shimmering Rose. So first I'm going to swatch Soft Petal. I'm using a blending brush by e.l.f. Soft Petal is described as a pearly pink. I would describe this actually as almost like a rose gold. It has more of a tannish bronze at the base, but then it has pink, almost reddish pink and gold shimmer. Goes on very nicely with just one layer. For the camera, I'm gonna do a second layer to build it up. I don't think you need that on the face. Applies really smoothly and softly. We're gonna swatch next Freshly Picked. And this is a champagne. Very nice color, applies really smoothly. Again, I don't think you need a second layer, but I'm just gonna do it to stay consistent. We're gonna swatch Petal Pink next. Physicians Formula describes this as a soft pink. This is definitely like a true rose gold shade. Nothing soft pink about it. I really don't think you need a second layer on this one, but here's what it builds up to. And last is Shimmering Rose. They describe this one as a rose gold, which I think is accurate. I guess the Petal Pink shade is more coppery, and Shimmering Rose is less coppery. They're actually pretty similar. Let's go in with a second layer and see what happens. Yeah, it's hard for me to describe. I guess this one is actually a little bit more rose toned, but they're pretty similar. On the screen you can see this one's a little more warm actually, maybe appears a little more orange toned even in comparison. And yes, there's a lot of powder around from the swatches. That's just kind of the nature of using a thicker, denser brush like this. The formula is fine. There's nothing wrong with the formula on these powders. So there are your 4 very beautiful highlights from the line. In comparison, the first one is pretty sheer in terms of color, but it's definitely not a sheer highlight. It's just that the other ones, on my skin at least, show up even more. The formula is so nice on these, very soft and buttery, blends beautifully over the skin. And as I always try to do with highlighters, I'll give you finger swatches too. This is Soft Petal, Freshly Picked, Petal Pink, and Shimmering Rose. Absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, stunning. So the next product, which is similar to the rose highlighters but has a little twist on it, they're called the Rosé All Day Set and Glow, and they retail for $15.99. Now these are available in 3 different shades, but one of the shades was sold out when I put in my purchase, so I have 2 of them to show you here. The description of the product says this is an illuminating setting powder that captures, diffuses, and softens surrounding light, setting makeup in place for all day wear. Includes a moisturizing, glow-enhancing, dewy balm to add a soft, all-over glow to any complexion. It claims to make the skin tone appear softer, younger, and perfectly lit, enriched with rose extract to help soothe and calm skin. And it also includes some antioxidants in here. In terms of the directions for how to use this product, it says to lightly brush on the powder all over the face and neck. And it says to enhance the look to tap the dewy balm with fingertips over cheekbones, down the bridge of the nose, center of the eyelids, and on the cupid's bow, basically using it as a highlighter, but it's in balm form. So the packaging is exactly the same as the highlighters, except that this balm component has its own tier that lifts up separately, which is nice to not have it right next to the powder, because usually the powder bleeds into whatever cream or balm product there is, and then the highlighting or setting powder pan also lifts up, and you have that same mirror and brush at the bottom. So this set here is Sunlit Glow. And this set is Brightening Rose. Now that I know these are supposed to be more setting powders, I don't feel as bad only having 2 of them to show you, but I am a little concerned with how shimmery these appear in the pan, putting these all over the face. So we'll start with the Brightening Rose set, and I'm gonna first just apply the balm. It feels like a kind of basically like a lip balm consistency. I'm gonna swatch that first. You can see if you looked really close that it's translucent, but it has like the sheerest, slightest tint of pink shimmer. On the skin, it probably won't really show to the normal person's eye. Build that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to swatch the Brightening Rose powder. It's good. This doesn't have large shimmer particles, but it definitely is shimmery. So I really don't know about applying this all over the face. I think this would be a beautiful, luminous, skin-like highlighter. And if you're using it all over the face, you definitely wouldn't want to build it up, but I'm going to do this for those who would use this as a highlighter instead. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful looking on the skin. It's a very sheer pink with a silver sheen. Next, we'll swatch Sunlit Glow, starting with the balm. Again, pretty much clear. I'll build this up. This one I feel like just has a really subtle pearlescent glow to it. Pretty much indistinguishable between the two balms. And then we're going to swatch the Sunlit Glow powder. And this one is more of a skin-like champagne. Again, nothing glittery or as impactful as the highlighters we just swatched, but definitely there's a sheen and a shimmer to it. Let's build it up and see what we get. So I similarly don't think I would want this all over my face. All right, so hopefully you can see the way this hits the light and the sheen that you get. Absolutely beautiful, but I think more appropriate as a highlight. And finally, we're going to take a look at the Roseate All Play Eyeshadow Bouquet eyeshadow palette. This retails for $17.99. It says ultra luxurious eyeshadows enriched with rose extract to help soothe and calm, formulated again with antioxidants. Finishes range from gleaming shimmers, flattering mattes, to second skin satins. Incredibly soft and ultra creamy texture can be applied wet or dry. And there are a total of 12 different shades in the palette. So this compact has a magnetic closure, a clear window, so you can see most of the shades inside, and no mirror or anything like that. It is a cardboard palette. Then on the back of the palette, you have some suggestions for color placement, and you also have the names for each pan. And some of these pans have the embossed rose, and then you have ones that do not have that are all metallic shades. And as I always do, I swatch these with an eyeshadow brush over a layer of eyeshadow primer, and I will swatch them left to right, top row, middle row to bottom row. This first shade is called Fresh Bouquet. Yeah, it felt a little stiff in the pan. We'll swatch it wet to see if that improves. But this is basically a constellation of mostly golden bronze toned shimmer. And it felt kind of stiff in the pan when I was trying to pick it up. Let's add a second layer, see what we get. Okay, builds up a little bit. Not the most impressive start. Shade number 2 is called Nice Stems. And this is a medium toned nude. It's warm in tone. Kind of has a satin finish. Shade 3 is Bottomless Brunch. And this is a satin finish cream. Has a bit of a sheen on it. Shade 4 is Floor Real. And this is a metallic kind of maroon eggplant shade. Again, not the most opaque, but I'm trying to build it up. Shade 5 is Sure Wine Not. And this one is a matte, really dusty lavender shade. It's kind of a deeper lavender color. Shade 6 is Yes Way Rosé. Again, I'm going to try swatching these with a damp brush and then also with my fingers. But for now, let's try a brush. Dry. Yeah, see, the dry brush, it's just mostly shimmer. This is purpley toned shimmer with some silver and pink flecks. Let's go ahead and build that up. And these specks of sparkle definitely have fallout and fly to other parts of the skin. I mean, they are very pretty, so if you wanted to use them dry just as a sheer wash of shimmer, they are quite nice to look at. Shade 7 is Winestone Cowboy. Same kind of formula. This is a deeper, more wine-toned purple shimmer. I'm pressing my brush pretty hard when swatching these. Again, very pretty looking, just not the freest flowing formula. Shade 8 is Berry Chic. And this is a deep berry shade. It's matte, but again has a little bit of a sheen on it. Shade 9 is Pinkies Out. This is a matte, really soft apricot, pale apricot shade. These two colors had really good pigmentation and smoothness. Shade 10 is Super Bloom. And this is another berry shade, but it's brighter and lighter toned. And this has a satin finish, so that definitely has a sheen. Shade 11 is Flower Market. It's the last of that shimmery topper kind of formula. And this is more of a deeper, warm-toned bronzy shimmer. This one has the most color of the four. Number 12 is Last Call. And this is a matte, warm-toned, medium brown. Sorry, we're running out of room here, so you may see a little bumpiness. That's just because it's on my wrist. Alright, so those are the 12 shades in the eyeshadow palette. The last row was the best in terms of performance, or I should say the last shade in the middle row to the last row were the best in terms of pigmentation. So here are the shades up close. It is a very pretty palette. I really like the color story, and even those more sheer glittery toppers are super nice on the lids, but I don't know about the consistency of the formula necessarily being the best. And again, please don't, this is not the formula, this kind of jaggedness, that's just because of the placement on my arm there. Alright, we're going to go back into these shades. This is first Fresh Bouquet, and I'm going to spritz my brush with a mixing medium type of thing before I swatch. So here it is with a dampened brush. Definitely improves in terms of opacity and impact. Pressing so hard that these bristles are coming out. By the way, this is an Eve Pearl Brush 103. Yes Way Rosé is next. These feel like they're sealing. Winestone Cowboy. Using a little more of a patting motion. And Flower Market. And then let's go back in and I'm gonna do finger swatches of all of these. Hopefully that will be the magic way to apply them. All right, so Fresh Bouquet. Oh yeah, that is definitely, even though Physicians Formula doesn't say anywhere on their website to apply these with the fingers, definitely the way that you should apply them. Yes Way Rosé. Limestone Cowboy. And Flower Market. These are really beautiful. You just have to skip all those other types of attempts to apply, ways to apply them, and go ahead and put them on the lids with your finger. All right, so those are those non-rose embossed metallic shades. So here are my thoughts overall. With the eyeshadow palette, even though there are some troubles swatching it, in particular with those metallic shades, and truthfully, in kind of applying them, the matte shades have such a soft and yet pigmented formula that it actually is a little bit unruly when you're applying them. But all that said, at the end of the look, once the look is completed, I do think that it looks really nice. So especially with people who are used to the eyeshadow formula from Physicians Formula and the way that the consistency is, I think that you will like this palette if you are used to that and you like that kind of formula. And as long as you are applying those metallic shades with your finger, then I don't think that you're going to have any major issues in using this palette. With the All Day Set and Glows, I think that this is an equally fantastic option for someone who wants a more skin-like natural luminescent highlighter as opposed to a shimmering highlighter. And they cost the same as the regular highlighters, $15.99, so it's not like you're paying more for them. The balm is kind of a nice touch, but the only thing that really concerns me is that I don't think you're going to be able to actually put powder over it. So if you're someone who wants to set the face, I don't know that this is a good option for you because you would be setting it over the balm and it's just, the consistency of it is just, it's going to be a mess. And then if you try to put it over powder, I don't think that's going to work well too because it's definitely going to move the powder underneath. So I think the balm is really only going to be an option for you if you're someone who doesn't normally wear powder on the face and you don't need to set your face. I think the rose highlighters are fantastic in color, in consistency, pigmentation, the way they apply, the shine that you get, absolutely beautiful. My biggest criticism overall is, like I said at the beginning, the fragrance. The rose fragrance is so strong that with these several products sitting on the desk here, it has filled the entire filming room with this fragrance. You can smell it throughout the room. Of course, you may only be purchasing a few of the products in this line, but still, I really wish that Physicians Formula would, at the very least, back off on the strength of the fragrance. It doesn't need to be so strong. Some people like fragrance, but put half of the strength in there and you'll be able to smell it just as well, but without having that headache-inducing, sickly strength kind of fragrance. And as we know anyway, fragrance is not a great thing to put on your skin. Luckily, these are powder formula items, so they most likely will be applied over several layers of other things that will protect your skin from the fragrance. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If there's a favorite product that you have in this lineup or any other experiences you have. I hope this video was helpful to you and that you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.